Hello and welcome to the Vegan Corner. Today we are happy to bring to your attention one of the most epic recipes ever, hamburger buns. But how can they be so epic if everybody already knows burger buns? Well, these buns are not only 100% vegan and 200% better than any of the stuff you find in plastic bags, but they are also so soft that you won't believe there is no oil in them. Oh, and I almost forgot, they also happen to be green inside, which is very vegan-like. We are sure that you will be able to impress everyone with this recipe, including any non-vegan burger lover. Without any further ado, let's get into the recipe, shall we? The ingredient list is in the description down below the video. To begin with, place the sugar, the salt, the water and the non-dairy milk into a container and stir well to thoroughly combine the ingredients. For the eggless egg wash, place a small pan over a medium heat and add in the sugar, followed by the water. Gently shake the pan over the flame until all the sugar is dissolved, and then pour the final syrup into a container and set it aside for later use. Now, place a few tablespoons of the flour into a bowl, roughly 4 or 5, add in the yeast and mix the ingredients well to combine them. To make the dough, start by placing the mashed avocado into a bowl, making sure there are no large pieces, and if you do see them, destroy them with a spatula. Now add in the milk mixture and whisk the ingredients until you end up with a smooth green liquid batter. Add half of the flour mixed with the yeast, making sure to whisk the ingredients for 30 seconds to properly dissolve the yeast. Now add the other half of the flour mixed with the yeast and whisk for another 30 seconds to complete the process. At this point, you should have in front of you a sort of viscous batter. You can now add in the rest of the flour, but this time in 4 separate times. You can use a spatula for this process, at least until the dough becomes too hard to be managed with it. Now, you can obviously start using your hands to bring the ingredients together into a dough. The other option is to use a stand mixer if you have one, and if you do have one, just follow the exact same procedure, but the good news is that you get to do so without breaking a sweat, although personally we prefer to use our time in the kitchen as a workout as well, as it tends to save time. Dust a working surface with flour, transfer the dough onto the surface and start kneading it by hand. Here you want to knead for a couple of minutes. You may find this task annoying due to the stickiness of the dough, and because I don't want you to get mad over a piece of bread, you can use a little more flour on the surface of the dough every time it is kneaded. And when I say kneaded, I mean kneaded with an N, just to be clear. However, make sure not to add too much flour, as you do want the dough to remain sticky. The stickier, the better. Place the dough into a bowl, cover it with cling film and let it rise for 2 hours at room temperature. Once the time is up, dust a working surface with some extra flour, remove the dough from the bowl and place it over the surface. Knead it for a few seconds to deflate it a bit and then start dividing the green dough into portions. At this point you do want to use a scale, as it is the only way you have to obtain buns of equal size. We like our buns to be 100 grams each, which is about 3.5 ounces. Before moving on, line an oven tray with greaseproof paper, grease the foil rings and place them onto the tray. Make sure to leave at least 1 centimeter, roughly half an inch, of space between the rings, or the buns will touch each other during the cooking process. If you didn't watch our video on how to make foil rings, you will find it linked in the description below and in the card's sidebar. Now it is time to form the buns. This is a very easy process, but not so easy to describe in words. But we are 100% confident that you will be able to understand how to form the buns by simply looking at the footage. Once a bun has been formed, place it on the tray in the center of the ring and move on to the next bun. Keep doing so until you run out of dough. Once that's done, brush the buns with the no eggs wash, cover the pan and let the dough rise for the last hour. Make sure not to use cling film to cover the buns, or it will end up touching the dough during the rising time and sticking to it. Half an hour before the rising time is up, turn on the oven to 180 degrees Celsius, which is about 355 degrees Fahrenheit. Once the rising time has elapsed, you want to brush the buns one last time with the no eggs wash, and in this case, you also want to be extra careful in doing so, or you will deflate the dough, ruining the final product. So please, be gentle, okay? Once that's done, you can sprinkle some seeds over the buns to obtain a more rustic and classic look. Here we are using oats and roasted sesame seeds, but you are free to use any other seed you desire for this purpose. Now pop the tray into the preheated oven and cook the buns for exactly 14 minutes, remembering to rotate the tray halfway through the cooking time to allow for uniform browning. The buns are ready, and this is how they will look after the cooking process. Beautifully shaped, golden brown, and with a very unique green colored crumb. I'm sure you are able to tell how good this stuff is by simply looking at the video, but please give this recipe a try to confirm that the buns are indeed as good as they look. And remember to let us know your opinion about this recipe using the comment section. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up before moving on, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching!